This video is going to be a review of my read through the Forex Trading QuickStart Guide written by Troy Noonan. So it was a pretty cool book, and I just want to share my thoughts along with it. I've got this little PowerPoint slide that I'm going to be looking at. Hi, I'm Greg, and who am I? Basically, I am a trader that's been trading for over 5 years. I trade equities, advanced option strategies. I've done futures trading. I've certainly had my failures along the journey, but I've also had lots of successes because I've learned from those failures. And so that's why I'm just talking about my background, is because I want to show what perspective is coming from as I give this review. So I'm not just some brand new trader giving a review. I've been in the trenches for quite a while, but this was an awesome read. As you can see, I've kind of marked up a lot of different sections in the book. And basically, I just want to share my key takeaways in this book. I want to share what I learned from it, tips that you can take away from novice traders to more advanced traders. And let's just get right into it. First up, the book really kind of starts off talking about two different types of people, Mark and Trish. And Mark is the engineer. And so if you think of like an engineer, it's a really difficult type of career path. You know, you're generally doing a lot of math. You're probably pretty good at school. You probably are just used to accomplishing lots of high achieving goals. You're used to basically going out and basically just taking control of everything. And that's kind of the big takeaway is Mark, the engineer, he likes to take control. And I can certainly relate with Mark, back in high school, college, definitely got pretty good grades, did pretty well academically, did pretty well in sports. And I just took control over everything. And as you'll find as you go through trading, taking control, you can't really control the markets. And that's where we come into with Trish. Trish is actually a really good truck driver, and she's very patient. She can stay alert for hours on end, hours and hours on end. And Trish, she tends to be the better type of trader. And as we go throughout the book, Troy really talks about how Trish is probably going to be a more profitable trader than Mark because she follows a process. She doesn't have an ego like Mark has. And she's going to be able to trade systems better and follow rules. And so that's another big takeaway in this book. You learn a lot about the systems and a mindset of a trader. And so I've got a few pages earmarked over here. And as I go through, some of these systems, we really need to think in terms of numbers as traders. Not just like, oh, this individual one trade is going to make us a ton of money, but more so as a series of trades. So the power of numbers, POQ, power of quitting. This is something that I need to work on quite a bit. And that's basically just, hey, when you're not doing so well, just relax, step away. Take what the market is allowing to give us. Don't try to force it on the market. A trade plan has done its job and we can quit trading for the session once we made our money. And that's just something that really resonated with me. The power of numbers, compounding those trades. We're talking about mechanical rules. A lot of emotions can tend to get in the way. Changing setups, how to have structure in your systems. Accepting a certain amount of losing trades the certainty of losing trades, it'll reduce the psychological pain. What does that really mean? Well, it's like, that there will be losing trades. However, how do you handle those losing trades is going to be very important. If you're accepting them ahead of time, it doesn't really hurt. But if you're like thinking, I've got to win on this next trade, I absolutely have to win, I know I'm going to win, it's going to hurt a lot more if that trade ends up not working out. So now I want to briefly get into tips for newer traders. And one of the first tips that I really thought was cool was this little graph over here. And the more you lose, the more you need to gain. Now, I had to learn this the hard way. Luckily, I had a very small amount of capital 5 years ago when I learned this. But basically, when you take a drawdown, you need a lot more to get back just to break even. Just to break even. Can you believe that? So basically what I mean by that is, hey, if you lose 5% of your account, most people think, you need 5% to get back to break even. No, you need a 5.3% gain just to recover. Now, this is a big one. A lot of people, they lose 50% of their accounts. You need a 100% gain just to get back to break even. So, and take it to even worse over here. If you lose most of your account, you need a 900% gain just to get back to even. So what's the key takeaway from that? it really is risk management. You must cut your losses diligently, and you need to keep those losses small. Otherwise, you're going to find yourself in a deeper and deeper hole, and you need to be an even better trader as you get into that deeper hole just to get back to even. And you're going to be in this huge psychological storm that's just absolutely going to be awful if you allow your drawdowns to become too huge. And so that comes back to power of quitting, manage your risk, and use stop losses, whether it be hard, mental, in any way, shape, or form. It's really important to understand risk management when we're trading. And that's just a big tip for newer traders is you've got to really stay alive as long as you possibly can. Stop trying to think about big gains, because as you constantly try to swing for those home runs, you're going to just end up getting bigger drawdowns, especially when you're new. So that's something that was really important and resonated with me. Time and effort, and what is the next piece that I want to get into. And time and effort really talks about how you need to put in that effort when you're paper trading. And all paper trading takes is time and effort. You're not going to get any monetary gains. You're not going to get any monetary losses, but you will be putting in time and effort. And that's super important. And so he talks about how you certainly don't want to risk any money when you're just starting out. But honestly, you still need to get pretty good at paper trading as well. And he talks about the rule of 25, and it's towards the end. And basically what he's talking about is you want to be able to place 25 consecutive trades. That's back to back to back to back to back to back to back in a row with just perfect execution. So what does that really mean? You perfectly enter your entry, you perfectly enter your stop loss, you perfectly enter your take profit, you entered when you were supposed to enter, you exit when you were supposed to exit, you didn't change the trade plan midway. So an example of this would be like, okay, let's say you're looking to long a currency pair. If you're looking to long a currency pair above the ask, let's say so the ask gets triggered and you get above that. If you're looking to long that pair, and let's say your stop is 4 pips away and your take profit is 8 pips away on the upside. If you take profit at 6 pips to the upside, you actually did not follow your trade plan. Even though it was a winning trade, a lot of people associate winning trades with following your trade plan. But that's not always the case. It's all about the process. So that's just some quick tips for beginner traders. Boy, this book really just has everything. I mean, it talks about position sizing, risk tolerance, spreads, bid-ask spreads, targets, selecting a platform, what influences markets. There's a lot of things that influence markets. We learn about supply and demand. We talk about, the oil drop in 2020 where oil prices went negative. It was absolutely insane. I remember trading during that time. And I just have notes a lot all throughout this book right over here. And, this book has everything that you could really ever need. And I would love to constantly go back and reference it. And I'm certainly going to be getting into the Forex market after this book. But I'm going to be starting, as Troy suggests, paper trading, building a strategy, building a great system, and just constantly going back to the book, going back to the table of contents to find where I need to get to. You can briefly read over here. The table of contents is absolutely awesome. Lots of great ways to go back and forth. You can learn about Troy's backstory. Troy, amazing guy. Traveling and trading, that's certainly the backpack trader lifestyle. So that's my review. Go check it out on Amazon. And I'm certainly going to check out Troy's next book, or his book that he's already published, Day Trading QuickStart Guide. Super excited. Alrighty, that's my review of the day trading or the Forex trading QuickStart Guide. Thanks for tuning in.